Well, hello. It's Vegas Paulie C, and this is my vlog for Tuesday. I don't even know what day it is, December 18th. So I went out last night and I met some people from the show, very nice people who love to watch Vegas Paulie C, and we met over at the Wynn. And they're Wynn guys, they have money and they're used to being treated a certain way. And we had a conversation about where we're going to go for dinner. Now, they're taking me out, so I'm not going to say a word. They were originally going to go to SW Steakhouse, but they decided they wanted to try something new. So they said, well, let's take a cab. And I said, no, I don't want to take a cab. Let's walk. It's no big deal walking. And, I think it was instructive or educational that they didn't really want to walk from the Wynn to the Fontainebleau because, they feel that it's, might not be the safest thing in the world. But, it was organic. It's not like I'm making this up. This was their feelings. And I said, no, it's okay. And we walked up there and, it's not the prettiest walk on the right side of the road, but I don't think there's anything wrong. It doesn't bother me. I've been doing it for 2 years, every day. I've never had a problem. And, we went to dinner and it was far and away the worst meal I've ever had in my entire life. And I mean in my entire life. And I am not picky. I had a lobster roll in 2017 once with mahi. That was just dry lobster on a piece of bread. That was up there. Maybe that was my old number one. But, this is a gourmet restaurant that's got all kinds of hype. They brought out the driest focaccia bread I've ever had, ever. Focaccia bread is supposed to be moist. They brought out pizza that was basically Elio's or less quality, but a very thin crust. The worst pizza ever. No, that's not true. The guys at the table said it was a 5. And maybe it was very average, but for a gourmet restaurant pizza, it was the worst pizza ever. That was the only thing on the table that wasn't just offensive. They brought out a salad that was all kinds of colors that had no dressing on it at all. It was just the bag from the supermarket, that you would just, shake up and throw on the table. It was very colorful, but it was dry also. And then they never brought the wine. So you have dry salad, pizza that is, pretty much any local pizza place would blow it out of the water. But they said it was a 5, but okay. But for a gourmet restaurant, it was a 2. And focaccia bread that was not edible because it was so dry. And then nothing to drink, no wine. And then they couldn't find the bottle of wine. They actually came to the table and said, we cannot find the bottle of wine. And they canceled the fish because even they agreed it was one of the worst meals they've ever had in their life. And they were diplomats. They were diplomatic guys. They weren't like me. I get emotional about it. I can't believe that this is going on. What insults me is the hype. It's the hype it's the bullshit. The bullshit insults me. And I'm going to tell you straight out that the reason that bullshit triggers me is because my parents were full of shit. We were not wealthy at all, but they were pretending to be wealthy. They were really not good parents. And I'm not complaining. They were locked in the toxic embrace of, the toxic narcissist and the willing victim. And my mother was a poor thing. She's a wonderful woman. She gave me life. She gave me everything. She gave me a business. She handed me a business at 21. My father was he wasn't toxic, but he was a narcissist. And my mother was a willing victim. So there was always bullshit. Everything was bullshit. There was no money to pay the utilities, but they were pretending, but they were going on these vacations. And it was just fake richery. And interestingly enough, I'm fake rich. So I'm continuing the tradition of my parents. And I can play both roles. I can play the narcissist. I can play the willing victim, which works great in social media because I'm all over the place, which people find to be sort of entertaining. But anyway, The reason bullshit triggers me is because of my childhood. Most of the stuff that triggers you is your childhood trauma. And then it's stuff that you need to work on. So I got triggered, but I'm not putting up the video. Oh, okay. So then we waited for, sorry for that childhood nonsense. So then we waited for the pasta. They said, let's wait for the pasta. They brought out pasta that was not cooked. It was wax. They brought out waxy pasta. I saw when it hit the table that it was al dente. I saw that the flavoring on the pasta looked interesting, looked okay. And it was the flavoring on the pasta, that was probably the most flavorful thing that came. So that was a 7 or an 8, the flavor on the pasta. It was like a white sauce. But the pasta was uncooked. So I immediately ran and did a video, and I excoriated them because it was truly the worst meal I've ever had in my entire life. And I went off on the maitre d', and then of course, after I go off half an hour later, my empathy kicks in. The first thing that kicks in is my adrenaline and my overreaction and my emotionality. And then half an hour later, I just feel like, I even told the guys, I said, watch, in half an hour, I'm going to feel terrible about this. And I left there. I went through the casino. The casino was dead empty. Yes, it's a Monday night. They closed most of the pits. The night before, it was just dealer, and nobody playing. And I didn't make a video about it. And very few people are going to see this YouTube. Maybe 1,000 people will watch it. And that's really all I want. I don't want anybody really watching this because I just don't want to put it out there that I feel sad. I feel sad for the Fontainebleau. There's this saying, forgive them for they know not what they do. And the lack of crowds there. Of course, it's a Monday night. I get it. But it was the most empty I've seen. Yes, it's the slowest time of the year. But then to have, it was almost like adding insult to injury to have the single worst, most disgusting meal I've ever had in my entire life. And I wonder if I put the video up, if it would go viral, or it would be, Vegas police, see, you hate Vegas. You're always attacking Vegas. Your negativity, I can't. So I'm not putting the video up because I'm not going to subject myself to that sort of rancor. Is that the word? R-A-N-C-O-R? Vitriol. Because I don't need it. And this is why I don't like to do food, although to run into the absolute worst garbage you've ever had in your entire life is kind of bad luck. And then, of course, the other chick, we all know her name, the dinosaur. She was over there 2 or 3 days ago, and she put a picture up of the food, and you can see the food does not look good in the picture. And she did one of her tepid, let me not insult this place reviews. It's not like, oh, it was the best thing I ever had. I love it. Look at that. I was looking at the theatrics of her videos. And they're theatrically, beautiful. But it's not my thing. My thing is, this food sucks, or this food is great, or this food was cheap, or this food was expensive, or because that's who I am. I'm not going to do a Oscar-winning short about food. Food is survival. Food is a luxury here in Vegas. There's no doubt about it. It's a huge luxury. For that many people, that also goes into last night. Just think about the people working there, that are like working at this restaurant. And I'm an asshole because, and they had to say to themselves, this guy's the worst asshole ever. Because I said to them, you guys got to get out of here, man. You got to get out of this restaurant. Maybe you got to get out of this place. This place is not long for this earth. And it comes from a place of empathy. Line up a job somewhere else. I've lived a lot of my life week to week. And you have to change jobs, and you're missing 3 checks, and you have to pay your rent because you took a job at a place that was going to be, what was it going to be? I don't think they used the next wonder of the world. I think that was someplace else. And that leads into the negligence of opening up a place like that, hiring people away from jobs that were steady jobs. I said to the guys, we walked back to the Wynn, and I said to the guys, I said, you honestly have to have been out of your mind. And I don't know how many people it is, but I'm gonna guess it was at least 100. You honestly have to be totally out of your mind to leave a job at the Wynn Encore, especially if you're a dealer. I don't know if a single dealer left the Wynn Encore. I doubt it. And take a job over here. Because you're risking the continuity of your life. You're risking your checks. You're risking your existence. And, you know, I'm just absolutely convinced that this place is 1,000% driven by ego. Because I see what's going on there at the very highest level. I got swooped up. I was hiding there the other night in the corner. And a guy who honestly should represent the entire property because he's visually beautiful. He's visually interesting. He's so stunning, this guy. And I'm not going to give you his name because, you know, I'm the guy who costs people jobs. He taps me on the shoulder and he wanted to talk to me. We talked for 20 minutes, half an hour. And, you know, I realized a lot of things. I realized a lot of things over there. And I feel terrible. I feel sad. I feel really sad for the employees. Because mark my words, within 3 weeks, 4 weeks, 6 weeks, 5 weeks, you know, 1,500 people. That's my guess. 1,500 people are going to be laid off. That's my guess. And the continuity of their life is going to be disturbed. And I could have done a video last night for TikTok and for Instagram that 100,000 or whatever number of people, but, you know, minimum tens of thousands of people would have seen it. It would have said, well, look, there's absolutely nobody here. There's nobody playing. All the tables are closed. Yes, it's a Monday night. And I could have put up a video that this is, and I did the video, but I'm not putting it up. The absolute worst meal, the most disgusting. Like, wow. If you ever see me and you want to see it, you know, maybe I'll show it to you in person. I don't know if I could pull it up. And I don't even want to put up this vlog because, you know, what good is it? I went over to Yelp or, you know, on the internet to see what other people are saying. And there's like only 2 reviews over there. A 5, which looks like it's related to someone who works there, or a 1. Yeah, I mean, go yourself. Go and put in the hotel and go and look at the reviews. They don't know what they're doing. The parking garage, they're clueless in the parking garage. The thing I was surprised about, now this I did not experience at all. So this I want to put out there. I played craps there. I was in the casino. The dealers were some of the, I actually had a dealer who was clapping when I would hit a number. So the dealers were so nice, so amazing. But they said in the review that there's a lot of rude people there, a lot of obnoxious people. Somebody said that somebody DM'd me and said that they were there with their daughter and their daughter didn't want onion rings on their burger or wanted onion rings on their burger. I'm not sure which one it was. But the person who worked there said to them, this is not Burger King. You can't have onion rings on your burger or something, you know, one way or the other. No, I think that's exactly what they said. And someone DM'd that to me. Like, why go to work at a place like that and just be rude? That I'll never understand. But then again, you quit a job somewhere else, so maybe you don't get the best. You know, when the people who go there, maybe they're not the best. But I think I'm going to, I was thinking about getting a room there tonight because the rooms are down to $230 and doing a room review. But then knowing what like, how do I do a room review there? I'm like talking myself out of it. Even if it's wonderful, knowing everything that I know and then reading the reviews and, wow, I don't know. I don't know what to say. I don't know if I'm going to post this. I mean, I love the attention, you know. I love seeing that 1,000 people watched me. And that probably will drive me to post this. But if I'm being honest, because I just did it and I don't have anything to post anyway on YouTube. So I will post it. I'm bullshitting myself. My sister used to say, don't believe your own bullshit. It was my favorite thing that she used to say. I probably, and I'm not going to name the restaurant. You guys can guess who it is. But I just want to say that overall, I feel really sad for all the people that work there. Except for one, and I'm not telling you his name. There's one guy there's one guy, someday, buddy, there's one guy there, wow. There's one toxic guy there. And I bet if somebody who works at the Fontainebleau who's in upper level management, I bet they could guess who it is. But, all right, that's my vlog for today. Vegas Paulie C.